That's everything you get with the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's.
I'm Austin Jackson, and our law firm is fast, responsive, and ready to talk to you anytime. Call me. Get help now. Call Austin Jackson, the Augusta guy.
Why?
Kamala Harris has spent... Carolina Panthers football is back. And News Channel 6 is your local home for Panthers preseason action. This Saturday, the Panthers face off against the New York Jets. Coverage starts at 7 on News Channel 6. Meteorologist John Bland, weather coverage you can count on. Looking for a reason to travel at McDonald's. Time and temperature, brought to you by your local Honda dealer. The Live Viper 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
It's a mostly dry afternoon, but we did have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Bamberg County. That has expired, but it's possible that we could have a few more strong storms later on today. I'll break down all those details coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 4, a local nonprofit looking to bring a church to Columbia County. My neighbors are pushing back.
Plus, discount retailer Big Lots is closing stores across the country, including some in the CSRA. We'll let you know which ones.
And more upgrades to Augusta University's athletic department. What's in store for students and alumni as Your News at 4 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 4.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brad Means.
And I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thank you for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins with a first check of our forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jenna Petracci.
Yeah, Jenna, sunny skies and storms. A typical summer day.
That's exactly right. Definitely another hot one, but areas that are receiving some rain are starting to cool down a bit, and tomorrow you'll definitely notice the drop in temperatures. Right now, though, it is mostly dry. We do have a few showers, though, in Aiken County and Richmond, and a few more storms possible to bubble up later on today. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we did have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Bamberg County. You can see it there. That expired at 3:30, and you can see we are left with just some light showers around. There's a light shower over North Augusta and some heavier rain outside of Hepzibah and also right around downtown Aiken. Now back to Bamberg County, though, we are left with an aerial flood advisory. This is around the Edisto River Basin, so outside of Bamberg, just the far eastern portion of Barnwell and Bamberg counties. This goes for only around 13 more minutes. So the good news is that the strong activity has now let up, and you can see those areas impacted. That would be Bobcat Landing, Embry Road, Farrell Crossroads for that aerial flood advisory for 4:15. Now, as we take a look at the rainfall totals, you can see we did get a lot of rain over a short period of time. Just over the last few hours, 2.5 inches right over Denmark and Bamberg itself. Outside of that heavier cell, we have 2.5 inches also outside of Olar, but for the most part, just around half an inch to 1 inch of rain. So the good news is that that cell is starting to weaken and move out. Not expecting much more flooding concerns down there or a strong storm activity. Our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam showing dry conditions here in town. Temperatures are in the low 80s now in Augusta, much cooler than earlier. Only 77 in Bamberg, but still 94 in Louisville. Swainsboro, you're at 92. 93 in Wrightsville, and only 85 in Edgefield. In return, the heat index is also getting lower, but still feeling like around 100 in Sylvania and 99 next door in Millen. Some gusty winds as well in Barnwell, Allendale, and Bamberg. Those gusts around 15 to 30 miles per hour. All of the rain today is due to this stalled frontal boundary with low pressure across the CSRA. This could allow for a few more strong storms the rest of this evening, so keeping that chance of rain, but it won't be a complete washout, just those isolated storms. Temperatures will start to warm back up in the places that no longer have the rain. We'll see low 90s again in Augusta, but then the upper 80s by 7 o'clock. So coming up, we'll have a look at the futurecast and a look at that cool down we'll have starting tomorrow, but back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Jenna. Coverage you can count on continues now with controversy in Columbia County. A proposed rezoning for a church and campsite in a residential area has neighbors fighting back. Hannah Latier is live on Rockford Drive off Old Louisville Road with the details. Hannah?
Yeah, Jenny, 143 Ministries that has multiple locations in the area wants to rezone this 20-acre property from residential to special to build a new church and campsite, but people who live in these homes along the street are against it. In addition to building a new church, they want to build 6 to 18 cabins that could fit about 6 people who are recovering from substance abuse, which is not mentioned in the zoning application. The Planning Commission is recommending approval with the conditions of the parking lot being paved and applicants providing a traffic report. Neighbors say while they support the mission of 143 Ministries, they are not pleased with an alleged lack of transparency, potential traffic increases, and are concerned about safety. 143 board members say they were as transparent as they could be, and the tenants in the recovery program have to adhere to strict rules while staying in the cabins. There would also be staff members on site 24/7.
People think that this is going to attract, a crime element or, unsavory people. I mean, that has not been the experience. We experienced a very similar situation in another county, and I think after the initial kind of shock, wore off. Those neighbors found us to be very good stewards.
They, have patients that are trying to get their life together and all, which is fantastic. But I don't know how their screening goes and whatnot. And there's plenty of kids that live around here. We moved in here thinking that we wouldn't have that issue, and they're trying to rezone. It's like an intrusion to our property.
And the proposal will go to the Board of Commissioners on August 20th. We'll have more information about the request at WJBF.com. Live in Grovetown, Hannah Latier, WJBF News Channel 6.
An Evans teenager is in jail accused of abusing a toddler at a church daycare. Investigators say 19-year-old Haven Stoddard worked at the Fairview Presbyterian Early Childhood Center in North Augusta in May, and she was accused of pulling a 2-year-old's elbow out of the socket. The child's parents reported taking the toddler to the emergency room. Stoddard got fired and faces a felony charge.
An alert emergency at Plant Vogel has ended. It happened this afternoon. The alert was declared at Plant Vogel Units 1 and 2 due to a transformer fire. That fire has since been put out. Burke County EMA leaders say there was never any danger to the public. An alert emergency means something happened that may have reduced the plant's level of safety.
In Richmond County, a handgun found at Butler High School. It happened Friday. Officers got a tip that a student may have brought a weapon to school, and so they did a search, and they found the gun. The school sent a letter home to parents. By the way, if you have any safety concerns about your child's school in Augusta, you can call that number, 706-828-1077. South Carolina could become the next state to limit cell phone use in schools. Leaders in the Palmetto State and California are taking up the issue today. South Carolina's Board of Education expected to approve guidelines that limit student phone access. They recently approved a 1-year rule that requires schools to ban student cell phone use or lose their state funding. Bans are already in place at many schools, but they're not always enforced.
Because they can text or do whatever on a watch just as well. They can be just as not as distracted with their watch, but they could still send messages and they could still be disruptive with a watch.
A recent teacher survey showed 90% support a limit on cell phone access. 55% supported a complete ban during the school day. The detailed rule is expected this fall and will be in place by January 2025. As local college kids head back to class, you'll notice some big changes at Augusta University's Forest Hills campus. Bria Smith, live now at Christenberry Fieldhouse. Bria.
That's right, Brad. Well, enhancements are taking place, as you can hear and see behind me, right here in Christenberry Fieldhouse and just outside of it. Augusta University Athletic Director Ryan Urlacher shares that some of those updates include first of its kind seating for the baseball stadium, as well as batting cages, a scoreboard, and press box. Construction plans also include exterior updates to the area, giving the building a more modern look. Urlacher says this is just an example for student athletes to see the investment the university makes in them.
We want to have first-class facilities when it comes to Augusta University and the athletics department. For us to be competitive nationally, you have to have that. I think with the student athletes, it's really important when we are recruiting the best, and that's what we do. We recruit the best in every sport, that they feel the investment that the university is making into their experience here. And obviously facilities is an easy way to do that.
The athletics department hopes that these improvements done by the end of this year and the beginning of next. Live at Augusta University, Bria Smith, WJBF, News Channel 6.
All right, Bria, thank you. 3 local Big Lots stores are on a list of roughly 300 that will close around the country, according to our news partner, The Hill. Locations in Thompson, Waynesboro, and Aiken will close. The company is offering discounts at each store. No dates have been given for the closure, but company leaders blame inflation for sales declining 10% over the last year. Economic experts say the company could be headed for bankruptcy. Coming up, new research links heavy marijuana use to serious health risks.
How the habit could increase the chance of a major illness.
And we have a few strong storms possible tonight with damaging wind gusts and could lead to minor flooding. Then as we go into the next couple of days, we'll have some drier air moving in and our temperatures will be cooling down just a tad. I'll have all those details coming up. Hi, EG.
Dad, what are you doing?
I'm adding up what it costs for a typical designer.
And?
Let's see, 5 hours of meetings, 18 hours measuring and design, 24 hours of sourcing mood boards, purchasing, install, times $75 an hour, $6,714.
But our in-store design team is free and our in-home design team is free.
I'll take free over fee any day.
Come visit us today in Augusta or Lake Oconee and let us help with all your design needs.
Join the Augusta Metro Chamber and Ameris Bank Thursday, August 15th as we discuss smart digital marketing for small businesses with Monique James. It's free for chamber members. Register at AugustaMetroChamber.com. To get the weather you need to see the whole picture. That's why Live Fiber 6 gives you the Skyview network. Get a live view of traffic and weather from all over the CSRA. Available online 24 hours a day at WJBF.com and the free Live Fiber 6 mobile app. The WJBF Live Fiber 6 Skyview network. Powered by Terry Lambert Hyundai. Low prices, big selection, and committed to quality customer service.
An overactive bladder can be a frustrating and disruptive condition. Now, a new device is helping patients gain back some control. Chris Martinez explains.
Well, there's new hope for millions of men and women living with overactive bladder thanks to an implant the size of a nickel.
Do nothing to it. It fires on its own. It stimulates on its own. It turns off on its own.
This small device here, called the e-coin, helps regulate the nerves controlling the bladder through mild electrical pulses. It's implanted just under the skin at your ankle where it reaches the sacral nerve, which connects back to the bladder. Doctors say this small device is delivering peace of mind.
Having incontinence can cause infections. It can cause that patient to wear pads. It really impacts a patient's quality of life. And so our goal is really to improve their quality of life so they can go to their dinner event, they can run their business meeting, they can wear the color of clothing they want to wear. It's far-reaching.
Now, the e-coin is implanted through a small incision in a procedure that can take as little as 20 minutes. It has a lifespan of about 5 years, and after that, doctors say that coin can be easily replaced.
Daily marijuana use has been linked now to head and neck cancers. Researchers studied a database of 4 million electronic health records, and they found people who had cannabis use disorder were more than twice as likely to get oral cancer, 5 times more likely to get throat cancers, and more than 8 times more likely to develop cancer of the larynx. Those who occasionally used marijuana did not have the same risk.
According to the CDC, at least 27 states, including South Carolina and Georgia, are reporting high or very high levels of COVID. Health experts say this is the strongest summer COVID wave in years. They claim an unusual midsummer mutation may be partly to blame. Western states are seeing the highest levels, followed by the South, Midwest, and Northeast. The CDC has already recommended that everyone over the age of 6 months get an updated COVID vaccine this season. We'll be right back.
Weather headlines on WJBF News Channel 6. Brought to you by Hickson Roofing. If your roof needs fixing, call Mr. Hickson.
When the unexpected...
A car wreck could hurt your future.
and making the right call after your accident can be the most important decision of your life. Call George St. Injury Lawyers at all nights. You can call nights, weekends, 24/7. Let them take care of everything while you get better.
20 years ago today, Hurricane Charlie made landfall as a Category 4 in Florida, just west of Fort Myers.
That was the first of 4 hurricanes to impact Florida in 2004. It's also blamed for killing 15 people and causing nearly $17 billion in damage.
Charlie is one of a few major hurricanes to hit before September 1st.
Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live 5 for 6.
Welcome back. Here's a look at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam at SRP Park. We just had a shower come down, but they are getting ready for the game tonight. 81 degrees, feeling like 86. A very humid day. Winds coming in from the northeast at 6 miles per hour. For the game day tonight, first pitch at 7:05, taking on the Fayetteville Woodpeckers. It's possible we'll have a shower or two come through. 88 degrees, 86 by 8 o'clock. Still keeping that chance of rain. You can see our futurecast showing a few showers and storms around the North Augusta area, but it won't be a complete washout. The storms will be very spotty. Around the CSRA, upper 80s and low 90s further down towards the south. A few showers around, but definitely nothing widespread. You can see on satellite and radar, as I mentioned, we did have that severe storm in Bamberg County. That has now moved out of here. Just a few spotty showers and storms left. Nothing significant, though. We do have that stalled frontal boundary across the area, but on the other side of it, we have some drier air starting to filter in. So that means it will be drier tomorrow, lower chances of rain, and we'll see still just a stray shower or storm or two, but definitely nothing widespread, and the temperatures will only be topping off around the upper 80s. Heat index only around 93 tomorrow, 92 for your Thursday, heating up back to the low 90s on Friday, but still below average. On top of the high temperatures getting lower, we're also going to see a drop in those low temperatures. 68 Thursday, 67 on Friday, and then back into the low 70s over the weekend. The rest of today, there is still a marginal risk of severe weather for damaging wind gusts for Barnwell, Bamberg, and Allendale, but earlier today, this did include some of our northeastern counties, so they have since been dropped. It overall looks like our chance of severe storms the rest of this evening is definitely going down. Today at 5 o'clock, so coming up shortly, we'll still see a few showers and storms around anywhere from around Warren County over into Columbia, and then some of those storms down in Burke and Allendale possible as well. But that's about it when it comes to the coverage tonight. Some cloud cover overnight and some patchy fog possible tomorrow morning. We'll still have a decent amount of moisture around, and notice we'll even have a shower or storm or two overnight tonight. That'll last until around 7 a.m. Mostly just light rain, definitely nothing too significant. Our front is going to eventually move out of here as well, so you can see that pushes down towards the south. Chance of rain the rest of Wednesday, very, very low, and same thing for Thursday. Mostly dry days, partly cloudy, and that'll stay the same way really into Friday as well. We're also watching the tropics still. We have Tropical Storm Ernesto. This is impacting parts of the Caribbean, including Puerto Rico. It's going to strengthen into a Category 2 hurricane eventually, headed right for Bermuda, but staying far, far away from us. So that is very good news. As for our lows tonight, we'll be in the low 70s. Patchy fog possible. Highs tomorrow will be in the upper 80s. In your 10-day forecast, showing those upper 80s Wednesday and Thursday. Mostly sunny days with very low chances of rain. And then as we go into the weekend, back to a 30% chance. And next week, we'll mostly see those low 90s.
All right, Jenna, thanks so much.
Thanks, Jenna.
Well, if you missed the meteor shower overnight, don't worry.
Coming up, we'll let you know about another cool thing happening in the sky this week. Stay with us.
Looking for a reason to trust.
Jupiter and Mars are getting close this week. Tomorrow, the two planets will have their closest rendezvous this decade. They'll be 1/3 of 1 degree apart.
Wow, only a sliver of moon is going to be visible between the planets. The last time this happened was 2018. The next time will be in 2033.
And there's more coverage you can count on coming up at 4:30.
Including South Carolina leaders hard at work on changing some of the wording of the state constitution before they send it on to voters for final approval in a couple of months. Dee has that next.
The Live Viper 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
Earlier, we did have a severe thunderstorm warning and an aerial flood advisory for parts of Bamberg and Barnwell counties. That has expired, but we are left with still a few isolated showers and storms. But overall, that chance of severe weather is going down. I'll have more details on the forecast this week coming up.
From Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 4:30.
Good afternoon, everyone. U.S. and Israeli officials say in Washington. Coming up, why the WNBA is heading back to the court.
And our chance of severe weather for the rest of this evening is decreasing. Only a few isolated storms around and then lower chances of rain starting tomorrow as the temperatures also cool down. I'll have more details coming up. From the time I was a little girl, the only thing I ever dreamed about was forecasting the weather.
This is Jennifer Tracy Live. As you can see, everything's trees down, and so do not drive.
I mean, I remember watching weather forecasts on TV while my friends were watching cartoons. I guess I was a bit of a nerd.
When I grow up, my ambition is to become a successful meteorologist.
So for me, being chief meteorologist here at News Channel 6, it's a dream come true.
People don't really realize AO Multi-Specialty Clinic, providing excellence in wellness.
At WJBF's Television Park Productions, our mission is to provide local businesses with top quality video and digital content at an affordable price. With decades of experience, our award-winning creative team will guide you step by step through the creative process, resulting in a successful marketing message for your brand. Over the years, we've helped hundreds of local businesses expand their voice. Visit WJBF.com/creative to find out how we can do the same for you. Over the years, thousands of people have gotten their hands on one, and who knows, you could be next. Win your very own Good Morning Augusta coffee mug at WJBF.com/coffee club, sponsored by Honda Cars of Aiken. Weather headlines on News Channel 6, brought to you by Hickson Roofing. The News Channel 6 mobile app is now even better. Download it today. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Welcome back. Here's the latest when it comes to the rain. Definitely nothing significant going on in the CSRA. Just some isolated showers and storms, very weak storms. You can see here in Aiken County and Richmond, Burke, and even parts of Jefferson County. We have some rain. There's a closer look. It's right around McBean to the north of Shell Bluff along the border of Richmond and Burke. Also some heavy rain over near Jackson, Savannah Riverside area, and more scattered showers and storms anywhere from around Windsor down to White Pond. Williston now has a heavy shower over it along Highway 39. So this is around the border of Barnwell and Aiken counties. And then, of course, we're also paying very close attention to Bamberg County. Unfortunately, they've also already dealt with some flooding today. We had that aerial flood advisory earlier, and this was originally a severe storm. Right now, it's just scattered light rain showers, some heavier downpours here and there, all to the south now of Denmark and Bamberg. Pretty cloudy outside and a little bit breezy here on our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam at Augusta Regional Airport. We're sitting at 81 degrees, a muggy day. Temperatures are cooling down, though, from the rain. So we are seeing a lot of low to mid 80s, especially north of the interstate. A little bit hotter down towards the south and west, 92 in Sandersville, 94 in Wrightsville. Louisville sitting at 95 degrees. So the reason for some of those pop-up showers and storms today is this stalled frontal boundary with low pressure right across the CSRA. So you can see the majority of the activity is now in the low country and along the coastline of South Carolina. And behind that front, we have some drier air filtering in. So tomorrow will be a much drier day. It's also going to be a cooler one. So starting out in the low 70s, very typical, but then only topping off in the mid to upper 80s in the afternoon. Heat index will also be lower, only around the low 90s both Wednesday and Thursday, heating up just a little bit more for your Friday. But even into Friday, we're still going to have some cooler mornings. You could say this is a little bit of a taste of some fall air, upper 60s to look forward to in the mornings. And when it comes to the severe weather threat tonight, notice several counties have been dropped. If you watched us last night and earlier, you may have seen that Saluda, Edgefield, and Aiken were included under this risk. Now it's just for a small portion of Barnwell, Bamberg, and Allendale for those damaging wind gusts. But the chance of that is very low spotty showers and storms. Some of these storms could linger, dropping a lot of heavy rain, though, over a short period of time, so minor flooding is possible. This continues until around midnight. Then as we go into the overnight hours, patchy fog development possible once again, similar to how it was this morning. But then you'll notice here on our extended futurecast, that front moves to the south of us, and you'll see those skies beginning to clear. Possibly a pop-up shower tomorrow, but for the most part, a nice sunny day and mostly clear skies for your Thursday as well. That front well to the south of us, eventually fading away. High pressure to the north, keeping some dry air in place and overall pretty dry conditions. Also, no worries when it comes to the tropics. We have Ernesto, but it will not be impacting us. Currently impacting parts of the Caribbean, Puerto Rico under a tropical storm warning. The winds are at 60 miles per hour, and it will soon become a hurricane, eventually strengthening all the way up to Category 2 status as it heads towards Bermuda by Saturday afternoon, but still keeping quite some distance from the United States. So that's very good news. Our lows tonight will be in the low 70s, and our highs tomorrow will only be in the upper 80s, so well below our average of 93. And that 10-day forecast showing us back into the low 90s, right at 93 again on Sunday. Chance of rain over the weekend back up to 30%, but still those rain chances staying pretty low even into next week. So overall, pretty good forecast for us. No worries with the tropics, no extreme heat. Looking pretty good.
Nice little break for us. Thanks a lot. Field trips are a great part of the school year, and Christy Henderson is taking us to the world of energy field trips at Duke Energy in Oconee County, South Carolina.
Staying cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and all the times in between, from cooking your favorite meal to enjoying a hot shower, all require energy. Almost 50% of the electricity we use in South Carolina is produced by nuclear energy, and Duke Energy's Oconee Nuclear Station is up to the task.
Oconee Nuclear Station is a 3-unit nuclear power plant. So what you see behind us is the containment structures. We're basically making steam. Steam turns a turbine that spins a generator, which makes electricity.
How does the steam form? That's where nuclear power helps us. Uranium-235 brings on the heat.
Uranium-235 atoms, incredibly tiny, incredibly powerful. We split those atoms. When we split the atoms, we generate heat. We use that heat to make steam, just like boiling water in a tea kettle.
All that steam has to be cooled to start the process over again, so chilly deep water from Lake Kiowee is pumped through separate tubes to help condense the steam back to water. Duke Energy operates 6 nuclear power stations across the Carolinas. Now, this power station here in Oconee County produces enough energy to supply almost 2 million homes with electricity 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And teachers can book field trips for their students at the World of Energy to learn more about it.
When school is in session, we always have field trips. We can take large groups up to about 125 kids.
And once you're here, there's a lot to learn and see inside and out, even including a butterfly garden.
We have different exhibits throughout the facility that talks about the story of Duke Energy, how electricity has been produced over the last 100 years, starting from water, going to nuclear, and the future of renewable energy.
Nuclear energy is clean and extremely efficient. Duke Energy makes sure it stays safe as well.
We maintain and invest in it just like you would your home. So we're constantly doing preventive maintenance, implementing new technology, putting new installations in to make sure it's running as efficiently, reliably, and safely as it can.
With many different fuels available to make electricity, nuclear seems to be one we can count on, and teachers can get their own reaction from their classes that visit.
I'm Austin Jackson, your guy in Augusta. If you've been injured, my team will get to work right away, and you don't have to pay us anything unless we get money for you.
It just keeps
All your coupons online all the time.
Do you have what it takes to be a border ball cheerleader? We're looking for the area's best high school seniors. Tryouts for Team South Carolina will be held on Sunday, August 25th. Register now at WJBF.com/cheer.
The Red Jacket Beach Resort on Cape Cod is offering an immersive dessert experience in its retreat suite that's geared toward families. Bookings are offered on a first-come, first-served basis all this week. Guests are responsible for booking their own travel to and from Cape Cod. Inside is a giant Rice Krispies Treats bed, double-stacked bunk beds, and a Rice Krispies Treats treat yourself bar. I like it. Now sign me up for that. Love Rice Krispie treats. Well, that's our time for now. Thanks so much for joining us. Coming up next on News Channel 6 at 5, how an election certification rule change in Georgia could face some serious legal challenges.
On WJBF News Channel 6, brought to you by Hickson Roofing. If your roof needs fixing, call Mr. Hickson.